Okay, if you've ever found yourself just standing in the baby aisle, staring at a giant wall of diaper creams, you know exactly how overwhelming it gets. You've got pastes, ointments, balms. How are you supposed to know which one is right? Well, what if I told you there's a really simple way to cut through all that noise and find exactly what your baby needs? Let's break it all down.
Oh, we've all been there. That moment your heart just sinks. You open the diaper and see that angry red rash. It's so stressful for you, and of course, it's just really uncomfortable for your little one.
But here is the good news. With the right game plan, you can totally get ahead of it. So think of this as your guide to not just treating diaper rash when it happens, but actually preventing it from ever showing up in the first place.
So, the absolute first and most important thing to get is that not all diaper creams are created equal, not even close. They basically have two very different jobs. One is to prevent a rash from ever starting, and the other is to treat a rash that's already there. So it's not about finding one single perfect cream, it's about knowing which mission you're on.
Think of a preventative cream as your daily driver. It's that lightweight barrier you put on at most diaper changes just to keep moisture away from the skin. A treatment cream, though, that's your emergency response. That's the heavy-duty, thick paste with the active ingredients you bring out to heal a rash that's already in progress. All right, so with that in mind, let's meet the champions in each of these categories. These are the top contenders that parents and pediatricians are really recommending right now. We're going to find the right cream for pretty much every situation you could possibly face. First up for that everyday protection is the Honest Company's Diaper Rash Cream. This is the one you'd reach for to keep things happy and healthy right from the start. Now, what's really cool about this one is the formula. It uses a pretty moderate 14% zinc oxide, which is great for a daily barrier, but it's also packed with super nourishing stuff like shea butter and jojoba oil. And honestly, the big win here is what they left out. No petroleum, no silicones. That makes it a huge favorite for parents who are looking for cleaner, more plant-based ingredients. But you might be wondering, what if you're all in on an organic lifestyle? Or maybe you use cloth diapers where zinc oxide can sometimes be a problem. Well, in that case, Earth Mama is going to be your go-to. And this one is a totally different beast. It's a USDA certified organic balm. So instead of zinc, it uses the natural properties of things like olive oil, shea butter, and that super soothing herb, calendula, to create a really gentle barrier. It's less of a thick white paste and more of a multi-purpose salve that's perfect for just mild irritation. Okay, next scenario. What if your baby has that extremely delicate, maybe even eczema-prone skin? Well, that requires a completely specialized approach, and that is where Sebamed comes in. This one is fascinating because it works from a whole different philosophy. Sebamed doesn't rely on a high percentage of zinc at all. Instead, its magic is that it's formulated at a pH of 5.5. This helps support the skin's own natural protective barrier. It's called the acid mantle. Think of it like a bouncer for your baby's skin. It keeps all the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. With ingredients like titanium dioxide and panthenol, it focuses way more on helping the skin regenerate than just blocking moisture. All right, so we've covered prevention. But what happens when a rash has already shown up and it just will not quit? It is time to call in a treatment cream. And for years, the gold standard for this has been triple paste. So the secret sauce here is its unique formula. It has a solid 12.8% zinc oxide, but that's combined with lanolin, which turns it into this incredibly thick and durable ointment. It's also hypoallergenic and has no fragrance, which is exactly why it works so well on those really persistent rashes that other creams just can't seem to kick. But what about when things get really bad? For a severe, painful-looking rash, you need the absolute strongest barrier you can get. That's when so many parents turn to a maximum strength formula, like the classic Desitin. Let's be really clear about this one. It is all about the zinc. At 40% zinc oxide, this is the highest concentration you can get without a prescription. It creates an almost impenetrable seal that just blocks out moisture and works on contact to calm all that irritation down. It's a true rescue cream for sure. So now that we've seen the top products, let's kind of pull back the curtain and look at what's really inside these tubes. Because understanding the key ingredients, that's the real secret to choosing the right cream every single time. And this chart just says it all, right? As you can see, your daily preventative creams, like the Honest one, they kind of hover around that 15% mark. But then you look at the maximum strength treatments, like Desitin, and they shoot all the way up to 40%.
It's such a clear visual of that difference between everyday protection and an emergency repair job. Now, beyond zinc, most ingredients really fall into two camps. You've got your barriers, like petrolatum and lanolin. Think of those as a raincoat for the skin. They just seal it off from wetness. Then you have the healants, like calendula and panthenol. Those are the medics. They actively work to soothe inflammation and repair the damaged skin. A really great cream often has a little of both.
Now, as we all get more and more aware of what we put on our baby's skin, here are a few ingredients you'll want to keep an eye out for on labels. Parabens and phthalates are on the list because of concerns that they could be endocrine disruptors. Synthetic fragrances are another big one because they can cause totally unnecessary irritation. And finally, talc, really just to avoid any potential risk of inhalation. But remember, the best cream in the world is only part of the solution. The ultimate goal is always prevention. So let's quickly run through a simple, actionable playbook to keep those rashes from ever starting in the first place.
And it's as easy as ABC. A is for air. Let your baby have some diaper-free time every single day. B is for barrier. Use a thin layer of your preventative cream at every change. And C is for clean. But just as important, make sure the skin is completely dry before you put any cream on. Trapping moisture under that barrier can actually make things way worse.
Now, while most rashes are totally manageable at home, you absolutely need to know the red flags. If you see any blistering, any pimple-like bumps, which could mean it's a yeast infection, or if your baby develops a fever, it is time to stop self-treating and call your pediatrician right away.
So, what's the ultimate takeaway from all of this? It's simple. The single most effective approach is the two-cream strategy. It is all about choosing the right tool for the job. By having a gentle, daily cream for prevention, maybe that lower zinc one or one with natural oils, and a separate, powerful, high-zinc ointment ready to go for those inevitable flare-ups, you will be ready for anything. You're not just buying a cream, you're building a toolkit.
We've looked at all the best ingredients and the top products that science has to offer, but it's worth asking, in a world full of these complex formulas, could the most powerful healer of all be something as simple and as free as just fresh air? It's a pretty great reminder of just how important that A in the ABCs really is.